I know you. You are Lee's American friend, right?
No, I'm Lee's new muscle. And don't let this robe fool you. This is the only color they had left. Now I said get up. I ain't gonna say it again.
You Americans are so funny.
And you Asians don't hear that well. Little Ricky, get your little punk ass up out of that chair right now. You messing up my vacation.
Welcome back to another episode of Front Row Cinema, a movie podcast for movie lovers by movie lovers. I am your host, TJ Trimboli, and with me today, one of Hong Kong's top chief inspectors, the very man who caught top criminal, Ricky Tan, Mr. James O'Reilly.
I don't think that was actually me, sir.
Well, we're going to, like Americans, take credit for the great accomplishments of others.
No, thank you. I'm not even half the man Jackie Chan is.
I don't think any of us are half the men that Jackie Chan is.
Yeah, believe me, I don't feel bad about it. It's just the truth, you know?
It's true. It's true. That man could take all of us on 1v100 and come out on top. Each week, we run down a movie from my 1,000 movies in theaters, and we see how well it's aged, along with the hype surrounding the film, its box office analysis, and legacy in the film industry. So if you enjoyed this kind of content, hit that subscribe button on YouTube, leave that 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's how you help the channel grow. And we got another classic for you tonight. Jim, what are we watching?
We're watching Rush Hour 2, the action comedy classic.
That is right. The 2001 action comedy classic, Rush Hour 2, directed by Brett Ratner, written by Jeff Nathanson, and starring Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. Now, we cannot queue up our classic Rush Hour is a movie about the character of Rush Hour this week. So, unfortunately, we have to turn.
Yeah, this movie actually has a title. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
an actual title for this movie. So, we have to turn to the Blu-ray trilogy pack that I have here. Now, I thought at first that this would do it for us, but this trilogy pack that I have, Jim, doesn't
Okay.
give a plot description for each movie, but hilariously enough, found a way to do one log line that somehow encapsulates all three movies. And
That
it's
is
kind
interesting. I
of
gotta hear this.
it's kind of glorious. So we're gonna go with this one. Maybe we'll throw in the IMDb one after this, but I think this one will do it. When strong but silent Hong Kong Chief Inspector Lee teams up with loudmouth LAPD Detective Carter, cultures clash, the stakes are high, and the fists and insults are gonna fly.
Wow, that they did it. That's really all three of them.
That's all three Rush Hour movies.
That's it. That's the bit.
That's that's all you need to know about the Rush Hour movies is pretty much that. This one you can't really go into that much more. The only really thing that you could add to that is the murder case involving the customs agents, but I think that log line is solid enough that we can stick with that bad boy.
Yeah. Real quick on that murder of the custom agents, that's another classic example of the on page 3 the plane explodes in American movies.
Oh yeah,
Like
absolutely.
within the first like minute of that movie, a US embassy blows up.
Listen, we got to get you along for the ride quick, all right? With audiences today, we have precious moments before you're on your phone. So you got to get them quick these days.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as always, we turn to our memories of seeing these movies back in yesteryear. Jim, did you see Rush Hour 2 in theaters?
I for sure did. Yeah, this is definitely one that my dad took me to when I was a kid.
Nice, nice. Were you a fan of the Rush Hour movies?
Yeah, I liked them. I was definitely the right age for them. They were very silly.
Yeah, I feel like they came out at the perfect time for us, 2001, where what, 11 years old, and that kind of like very silly humor of loudmouth Carter, like always was just hitting strong back then.
Yeah, yeah, it's just like a perfect movie for like an 11, 12-year-old kid.
Was this
Lots of
movie?
cool fights.
Yes, yeah, lots of cool action scenes. Was this movie your introduction to Jackie Chan?
No, I'd seen a ton of Jackie Chan movies before this, for
You have.
sure.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah,
this was my introduction to Jackie Chan. I
really.
should say the first Rush Hour, really, but the Rush Hour franchise was my introduction to Jackie Chan. Because
I
I mean,
think uh I think the first Jackie Chan movie I watched was Super Cop.
that's a pretty good. That's a
Yeah,
pretty good first
that
one
movie
to watch.
rules.
Yeah,
Super Cop is amazing.
my dad was not a big foreign film guy, so really, as an 11-year-old kid, I'm not getting outside of just the American movies here. So I never got a chance to see a lot of Jackie Chan's original work out in Hong Kong before Rush Hour. So my knowledge of Jackie Chan growing up was Rush Hour and Shanghai Noon.
Yeah, those are both also good movies. I don't know if they're as good as Super Cop,
No,
but
absolutely
yeah,
not.
you were
And
missing out. You've seen a lot of those movies since though, right? Like Who Am
yeah,
I
yeah. So
or
since
Rumble in the Bronx is another really good one.
yeah, since then I've really done a deep dive into as many Jackie Chan movies as I can, and that guy, absolute legend from some of those movies. I think my favorite is either Operation Fortune or oh fuck, what why can't I think of the name of this movie right now? That was really, really silly, but like classic Jackie Chan.
The
Um
Tuxedo.
the tuxedo. Shut the fuck up.
That's what you said. Really stupid and starring Jackie Chan. Of course, I'm going to say the Tuxedo.
The tuxedo. No, like one of his good ones. Um I think Project A, I think it is, where he's
I
like
don't know if I've heard of that one.
he has like the sailor fight in the bar. I
The
think it's called
sailor fight.
yeah, it's like he fights like a bunch of
Well,
Navy men in a bar, and it's
I'm not
so
familiar
absurd.
with it.
I
We'll find it in IMD deep dive later though,
It's true.
because
We
we're
will find
definitely
it.
doing Jackie
We will
Chan.
find it in the deep dive. But I remember seeing Police Story changed me. That movie was I was so in on Police Story. I think that's
Yeah,
really my love of Jackie Chan there. But anyway, we're getting way off topic here.
yeah, we're
Um,
getting a little ahead of ourselves.
yeah, way ahead of ourselves here. I also obviously saw this movie in theaters. This was a family movie, surprisingly. We went. So I was on vacation in the Poconos, and me, my
Oh,
mom, my stepdad, and Zach went to go see this movie because me and Zach loved the first Rush Hour. So they took us to see this movie, and I don't think we stopped talking about it for weeks. I think we just can.
yeah,
I think it got to the point where Jackie like needed to get away from us because we kept quoting so much Rush Hour 2 throughout for like the next probably like 4 months.
yeah,
But yeah, I loved this movie I still love this movie. Spoiler alert. I loved it as a kid. One of the funnier things that I was reading about, Jim, when I was doing, my research into this movie, we
uh huh,
talked in other episodes about really funny film premieres for movies. We talked about an X-Men where they did the premiere on Ellis Island.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they premiered this movie on a United Airlines flight from LA to Hong Kong that they dubbed the Rush Hour Express.
What? That's why. That's so horrible, dude.
Right? Because now it's like this
So
movie is like 87 minutes. It's like 90 minutes. Like you could have watched that movie like 40 times on a flight from LA to Hong
yeah, was it? So were there people who got on the plane specifically to attend the premiere, or did they just premiere it for people who were traveling?
Probably just premiered it for people for traveling because I couldn't imagine being one of those actors and then being like, how are we going to premiere the movie? We're all going to fly to Hong Kong and we're just going to
We're gonna
premiere it
take
for
a
the people on the
13-hour
plane.
flight.
I would be like, the fuck we are.
No
I'd be like, well, you're
meals,
doing
just
that.
rush hour 2. That's all you get.
I bet they're just serving gefilte fish.
Gefilte fish. Oh my god.
But that was one of the most insane things. Like, imagine like they're just like, yeah, and then now after the movie ended, a Q&A with the director, Brett Ratner, just on like a 13-hour
Yeah.
flight with him.
Brett Ratner gives like a 6-hour lecture. It's like they gotta fill the time somehow. It's like, Brett, just keep talking.
It just goes scene by scene on like
Yeah.
the dissertation of Rush Hour 2. But not only that,
Yeah.
Jim, do you remember flying back? Well, flying in 2001. The TVs to watch a movie on. No, we didn't have our own TV back in 2001 on a plane. You were watching a TV that was built into the ceiling like 4 rows ahead of you, and it was maybe
Yeah.
like a 2x4.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, did JetBlue have TVs in 2001? I feel like JetBlue was pretty early on that.
I mean, I don't know, but they no one had their own TV back then. It was
But no,
like
you're
you,
right.
yeah, you
You're right.
watched,
That's a crazy way to premiere a movie.
yeah, and they're like, we're gonna premiere Rush Hour 2 for some lucky
There's like
travelers.
there's like a flight attendant with a drink cart like walking in front of the TV.
Yeah, exactly.
She's
You
like,
hit like some
this is the
turbulence and
premiere of this movie, miss. Can you like move?
you hit some turbulence and just the VCR cuts out. I'm like, well, fucking great. Supposed to see what happens now. Absolutely absurd. That's one of the funniest things. That's one of the funnier ways that
That
you can
is
debut a movie for somebody. And
that
I
is a
almost,
good piece of trivia, yeah.
yeah, that's gonna, I feel like, be a running gag going forward. It's just the absurd ways in which people have debuted their movies.
Yeah.
Just absolute.
That's I mean, we have two pretty good ones. Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah,
we'll find more.
two solid ones so far. And I'm sure there's plenty of other ridiculous ones waiting in the wings. But on to bigger and better things, mainly the best thing that we love to talk about here week over week, and that is, Jim, those juicy box office numbers.
Numbers, dates, and numbers, numbers, dates, array, dates, numbers. Show me the money.
So Rush Hour 2 opens August 3rd, 2001. Has a $90 million budget listed on Box Office Mojo here. Opening weekend, it pulls in 67.4 million.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
That's
it's a big
looking
number.
over. Not only is that a big number, Jim, looking at our all-time chart for what we've done, that's number 4 of all time highest opening
Right.
weekend right now, behind The Lost World, Planet of the Apes, and The Mummy Returns. So it's going to sit
Yeah,
in fourth
that's
now, just ahead of Star Wars Episode 1.
yeah,
That's a
that's a pretty
really
big
good opening,
deal.
especially for
Yeah.
just an action comedy. Could you imagine a movie like that opening to the fourth highest grossing weekend of all time today?
Well, yeah, and an action comedy starring Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
exactly.
so it's just it's a very interesting number. Great opening weekend for this movie.
Yeah, it's
It beats
huge.
out Planet of the Apes, which comes in second, with 27.5. I think we talked about Planet of the Apes a lot last week, so we
Oh,
don't need to
yes,
dive too much
yes,
into
we
that.
did.
It shares an opening weekend with Princess Diaries, The Princess Diaries, which
Ooh,
comes in at
hey,
22.8 in third place.
Mr. Gary Marshall.
And then Jurassic Park 3 and Dr. Dolittle 2 are still hanging around in the top 10 here.
Nice, man. So yeah, bevy of hits that we've been talking week over week here. It's nice to see them all truncated, still playing, vying for number one together.
Yeah, so it has number one for its first weekend. Second weekend, it is not going to go on a run.
Damn.
It comes in second with 33.1 million behind a movie I'm like kind of hoping isn't on our list, American Pie 2.
Is in fact not on our list.
Awesome. um yeah, so American Pie 2 takes the top spot that weekend with 45.1 million, which is a crazy opening for a
And
movie
that
like American
is
Pie
a
2.
crazy open. I'm honestly shocked that Big Rob did not take us to see American Pie 2. I guess like around we still were pretty on the younger side for that movie back then. I remember as a kid he showed me American Pie, but then would skip over the nudity and Jim coming in his pants section of the movie.
Yeah,
So I didn't
yeah.
even see that until like we were in high school watching that movie. So originally I just never even it went from the scene where they were like, you should have Nadia over, and then everyone laughing at Jim, and I was like, well, this is taking a turn.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, so American Pie 2 comes in at number 1. Princess Diaries is hanging around here in third still. Another opening this weekend, which is this on our list, Osmosis Jones.
God, I wish. That
Okay.
movie is so good, but unfortunately, no.
Yeah, that comes in at 7th in the second week.
Oof. Never a great sign when you open outside of the top five.
Yeah. Rush Hour 2 though, it holds pretty strong in week 3, stays in second, 19 million. It beats out Rat Race, which opens that weekend.
Okay, yeah, so it's hanging around. It's still making a decent amount of money. Those drops are solid.
Yeah, the first one's a little rough, but from week 2 to week 3, it's not bad.
Yeah.
42.6%.
I mean, when you open to fourth all time, you're expecting a drop a bit more on the high end than normal. But the week
Yeah,
two
and
to week
it's
three drop is a good drop that it's going to sustain itself.
yeah, and so we're in week 4 now, and this is like it's really starting to hold its own here, right? Because it came out a week before American Pie 2. American Pie 2 is still in first place with 12.5, but Rush Hour is hanging in there with 11.6.
Yeah, so it's like neck and neck.
Yeah, and that's in second, and it also beats out another comedy opening that weekend, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Man, what a bevy of comedy movies
Yeah, and
around
Rush
right
Hour
now.
2's it's taking on all contenders right now. Ghosts of Mars comes out. Is that Ice-T
Oh
movie?
boy, Ice Cube.
Ice Cube, yeah, Ice Cube. Sorry, not Ice-T.
Ice-T.
I
Miss-
mean, they're both ice names. Come on.
That's the John Carpenter, Jason Statham one, right?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ghosts of Mars. I'm pretty
God,
sure.
there's a piece of shit.
Yeah, week 5, dude. Rush Hour 2 is still in second place. It's now beating out American Pie 2.
Good legs, bro.
Not 9.3 to 8 point to about 9 even, let's say, round up.
Okay.
And then Jeepers Creepers comes in first with
Oh
13.1.
boy. Oh,
Yeah, wow, what a year for movies 2001 was.
dude, and this not to be a Debbie Downer, but it's weird that it's like the last month before 9/11 and you're looking at like all these
Oh
movies right
god.
there.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
I mean, we're in the era, like it's literally about to change. Think
Yeah.
about all the
Oh
movies
dude, all
that are
right.
just gonna grind
So
to a halt. Do you think no, I never mind. You keep going because I don't want to say what I was gonna say.
yeah, please don't. Please don't. Week what are we up to? Week 6. You know, all right, here's another classic movie that comes out in week 6. This is in fourth place. Well, all right, let's start with yeah, let's just do fourth place. The Rockstar.
Oh, Marky Mark.
Mark Wahlberg comes back strong with Rockstar after Planet of the Apes.
One of it. They're like, don't worry, Mark, you're gonna get bounced back with Rockstar next month. Planet of the
Dude,
Apes will be a blimp on the radar.
I'm not a big fan of early 2000s Mark Wahlberg, but I'm just saying Mark Wahlberg crushes it in Rockstar. He's so
Rockstar.
good in that movie.
That's really where he starts to turn it around.
It's the perfect part for him. he's, he's got like the rock scream and the
Oh
crazy
my
long
God.
hair. Rush Hour 2. All right. I mean it's got good legs. It's running. Let's see when it falls out of the top 10. Week 8, we're still in 5th place.
Oh my lord, dude, this movie is chugging.
Yeah, week 9, we're still in 6th place.
What weekend is that?
We are in so week 10 is the weekend of October 5th to the 7th of 2001. Oh man.
What? What?
I know why you're asking.
I just wanted to see if it
we passed
affected.
it a long time ago. Let me go back and look. All
I want
right,
to
so
see.
the 14th to the 16th.
I mean, how can you not mention it when we're about to pass it? All
The
right, so
14th to the 16th in first place is Hardball with 9.3 million. The
oh, dude, what
Keanu
a
Reeves baseball
terrible
movie.
time to release that movie. So
Um,
it spent 10 weeks in the top 10.
yeah,
That might be all right. So that's not a record, but that is good enough to put it in the top, tie it in the third spot for the top 3 best legs that we've seen so far. So it's tied in the third spot right now with Castaway, both sitting at 10 weeks in the top 10. So they're just ahead of Gladiator at 9 weeks and then just behind Star Wars Episode 1 with 11 weeks. So that's pretty
yeah,
huge for Rush Hour 2 right there. The
that's
question
a
is,
good
will we
run.
how long Will we see anything come close to Titanic that spent 27 weeks in the top 10 anytime soon?
I don't think so.
Like,
No.
not until we get to like Avatar, right?
Yeah, probably not. I mean, yeah, that's the only movie that I think even gets really close.
Is just absurd.
Yeah, and then real quick, just some totals on Rush Hour 2.
Yeah, hit me with them.
Domestic 226.2 million,
Okay.
international 121.2 million,
Okay.
for a worldwide total of 366.6 million.
366. That is good enough to sandwich it in the number 11 spot, which is just ahead of Planet of the Apes is 362 million and just behind Jurassic Park 3's 368 million. So it's another
Yeah.
week where we see this huge opening weekend, but the worldwide total sandwiches itself in between two of the most mediocre movies we've done so far. So it's interesting to
Yeah.
see its huge opening, to see that it has great legs, but to see that it still
Well,
settles somewhere in the mid 300 range.
yeah, it's definitely a little front loaded, right? It's multiplier, I mean 67 into 226 domestic. What's that?
I can't do
So
math.
it's got a multiplier like a little bit less than 3.5, which is like it's like kind of it's not bad for that time of year, but it is definitely a little like front loaded. And then, I mean, they must be happy with it though, right? Because they make a third movie, and
Although
for
it
an
takes
action
them
comedy like this, 366 million is not bad.
a minute though to do a third one. Because I'm pretty sure the third one came out, it didn't come out till we were seniors.
Well, let's look at okay. So what about this? Let's look at it versus the original Rush Hour movie, right? Rush Hour, the first one, opened to 33 million, so it crushes its opening weekend.
Yeah.
It gets 141.2 million domestic, so it beats it real bad domestic by like almost almost like 90 million.
No, I mean, I'm not
100
saying
103 million international, so it's beating it internationally but not as bad. And then it Rush Hour finishes for 244.4 million worldwide. So I mean, like, it's definitely way more successful than the first one.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not saying that they should look at this like it was, a failure at any point. I mean,
Although,
you made 350 million worldwide off of a $90 million budget. Like you succeeded in what you were trying to
yeah.
do.
Although here's another big difference. The budget of the first Rush Hour, 33 million.
Okay, yeah. So
So
that's
you spent about a third making it. That's actually a pretty tight race when you take that into consideration.
yeah. But no, I still think this is still far and away a success for them. And they know it because it was the highest grossing Rush Hour movie out of the three that came. I think when the third one came out, did not do much at all.
Yeah.
I think we were the only ones who went and saw that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Rush
So
Hour
it's
3.
Rush Hour 3. So this is still obviously should be taken as a huge success for them. The fourth highest grossing opening weekend of all time. You should wear that badge of honor on your sleeve every day of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all right, so let's dive into it, Jim. I'm excited to hear some thoughts. Let me hear would you like, would you dislike Rush Hour 2?
I mean, I like the two guys who lead the movie more than anything in this. They're both really funny, and the way they play off of each other makes them both a lot funnier. Um, and I love the idea, and this is probably why it's my favorite Rush Hour movie. Like, the idea of Chris Tucker in Hong Kong is the most juice you're gonna get out of this idea.
Absolutely. I mean, if they mined so much gold from bringing Jackie Chan to LA in the first one, you'd be stupid not to be like, well, now we got to bring him to his world.
Yeah, the fish out of water. So you're
Yes.
keeping the spirit of the original movie, but you're flipping the script just enough so it feels original and new.
Yeah.
It's
The
just
perfect
I
way.
like I like the way they play that off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the perfect way to build the characters in a sequel too. Like, how do we do it? All right, so now we do the inverse. Like, now we're gonna bring Chris Tucker to the fish out of water scenario and see how he does over there. and you'll get a
Yeah,
whole
and
new
they
dynamic because he's so much more brash than how Jackie Chan is.
exactly, and they hit it so early and so often. I mean, in the first 2 minutes of the movie, after the U.S. Embassy blows up, because we got to remember they got to drag us in, like we got to get our attention.
We gotta be off
Uh,
to the races, man.
but yeah, but after the U.S. Embassy blows up, he's already like yelling out the car window at girls, trying to like look up in the dictionary what to say and getting it all
Yeah,
wrong. And then they go and do karaoke, and it's just him in the karaoke bar is so funny. He takes over and starts singing and dancing Michael Jackson. Him at the massage parlor, and like when he's getting in Ricky Tan's face, like which we played at the beginning, right in the intro.
yeah,
All that happens within the first 30 minutes of the movie. So they're going to their bread and butter early and often, and it's just like
yeah.
they know exactly why I'm there.
Yeah, and they know how well of a driving force Chris Tucker can be in the action because he's such a loudmouth, like trying to be tougher than he actually is type character that he drives so much of the action there just by being himself. And that's such a great instance of character driving plot instead of plot driving character.
Yeah, totally. By the
It's
way, Chris
yeah.
Tucker is jacked in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, yeah,
That fight
he's
scene.
ripped.
Yeah, I couldn't even believe it. I was like, wait, that's Chris Tucker? He's huge.
Yeah, he's far and
so
away to me the shining light in this movie. He everything he does is so freaking funny. And the thing I love the most about his character in this movie particularly and all of them is just the complete lack of embarrassment that this guy gets when
yeah.
he is on the yacht and tries to pick up I forget what her name is, the undercover secret agent for the FBI that's there, and he's trying to hit on her and say that
Yeah,
this
it's
is
Agent I think it's Agent Molina.
Agent Molina. Yeah, yeah. And he's like this, and he starts playing like it's his yacht, and she completely calls him out on it. And then he's just like, "Oh, I must have got on the wrong yacht." And then he sees like the other dude, and he's just immediately on it. Like he has no embarrassment on being caught in lies or acting like he's a player or anything. Like he just completely
Yeah.
owns every moment of his being, and it's pure gold. His facial expressions in those moments when he's caught and pivots, he's a shining light in these movies.
Yeah, I love the line in that part you were just talking about where he's like, "Oh, that must be why my keys didn't work."
Yeah, it's just like so dope. This is your friend's yacht? Oh, I must get on the wrong
yeah.
yacht. All these yachts look alike. And then like
Yeah.
instead of like backpedaling when he sees the other rich guy, he just goes like, I bet you fly private too. It's fun, ain't it? Like he just
Yeah,
doubles down.
he's so smooth. He's so smooth. You're right. Yeah, he plays it so cool.
Just doubles down on it. Like, and he's just so unabashedly absurd. And I love it. Like when he's at the massage parlor and he's like, oh yeah, like I gotta have her, but I hurt my back and my neck, so I think I'm gonna need her too. And like he's just like waving at all of them and blowing them kisses and everything. He's just so
Yeah.
over the top, out of control, and he has no compunction about reeling it in. And I just love it. That character meshes so well with Jackie Chan's more reserved nature in it that it's lightning in a bottle getting the two of them in this movie because
Yeah, they
without
play off each
either of
other
them,
so perfectly.
yeah, without either of them, this movie falls apart. You take away one of them, and this just doesn't work.
And not nearly as well anyway. It's a totally different movie without the dynamic that they're putting
Yeah,
out there.
without the dynamic of the two of them. Because like when he's getting for all the girls and Jackie Chan's just like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm picking out girls, man." He's like, "Well, hurry up." He's like, "What's the matter with you, man? Jump
Yeah.
in front of a black man in a buffet line?"
it's a it's a lot. And that's a part. It's also an interesting movie to watch in 2024, man.
Oh yeah, because
because
this movie was like I feel like they sat in a room and they were like, what if we took every single awful stereotype about Asians and black people and we just made two characters that are just gonna rip each other apart about it. And you're gonna create an entire universe where they all just rip people apart about it. When Chris Tucker is running up the flight of stairs and the Asian woman just walks past, speaks in Cantonese, but says "move Kobe." It's like, dude, this
Yeah.
movie is out of
It's
control.
a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. He gets in
Yeah,
the argument with the lady with the chicken.
yeah.
It's like,
She's like
oh
about to cut
boy.
its head off. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard because like their dynamic is really funny, but then when you also look at it through that light, it's like that really is like such at the heart of the movie, you know?
Yeah, is them just like poking fun and commenting on all of these stereotypes that you would see within both of these communities. And like even within each other. Chris Tucker punches Jackie Chan in the one fight, and he's just like, "Ah, Carter." And he's like, "Oh, y'all look alike."
Yeah, right. Absolutely, yeah. So so I don't know, it's just it's interesting because we talked about in a couple of our other episodes about how much of a different time 2001 was.
Yeah, but and I know because we talked about it a lot in the scary movie episode with a lot of jokes and humor in that does not age as well. I think the humor in this and the poking fun at the stereotypes, I think aged a lot better in this movie because none of this feels like taking pot shots. It all just feels like just fun, humorous moments. It never feels like it's punching down at those things that it's poking fun at. Whereas Scary
Yeah, I
Movie
guess.
kind of feels more like it's more of an edge to it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to compare the two. I don't know if I like really notice a comparison between them. It's just other than to say that they both make me go, "Huh," you know?
that
That's
is
the most I think I'll say.
that is fair. But yeah, this movie is a lot of fun. I think this is a great introduction movie too for to Jackie Chan. Like if you got like a young kid who's getting into action movies and stuff like that. I think this is a good introduction to him before you bro like because if you just throw to a kid one of his like Project A or Operation Fortune or any of those movies that he made, Police Story, you have a chance. I feel like it might be a tougher sell to get them on, but I feel like this is a good introduction to them where you can get them in on Jackie Chan and his like whole gimmick and then show them the world that he really creates with his like stunt team.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of his older movies weren't made in the US, right? So it makes sense that this is more geared toward people from the US and why, yeah, if you were a kid or anybody in the United States in 2001, this movie was definitely more accessible to you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this was a perfect way. I think this was the best movie that he did in the States that really understood how to utilize him. Because I don't know that I had no idea about kung fu movies when I was a kid.
Yeah, my dad was really into Bruce Lee, so I watched a lot of kung fu movies when I was a kid.
Funnily
A
enough,
lot.
one of my so the like we talked a little while ago how my introduction to John Woo movies wasn't really until I saw Kill Bill, and I think
Uh-huh.
another thing that really got me
Wait, Kill Bill is
interested.
not a John Woo movie.
No, but you know what I mean. Like it's like that type of like kung fu martial arts stuff that made me go down a rabbit hole of looking
Oh,
into
I
movies
see.
that
Kill
he
Bill
that
is like what led you to John Woo.
yeah, like movies that like influenced Quentin Tarantino to make that is what started me exploring that. Well, it's all a rabbit hole because it was all like a spiral thing because I loved as a kid Chappelle Show. We weren't supposed to be watching Chappelle Show, but we watched Chappelle Show. Wu Tang
I
was
mean,
such
yeah,
a big
we were a
thing.
little older by then though.
Yeah, but that's all around like the same time period because Kill Bill wasn't until like 2003, 2004. And
I
I
mean,
think
Chappelle
Chappelle's show
show is like
started.
05, 06, like around that time.
No, I think he'd been done by '06.
Really?
I could have sworn Chappelle show also started in like '04 around. So like all that stuff was
Really?
happening concurrently, and that was like what exploded my love for
Oh yeah.
learning about kung fu and
2003
everything.
was the first season.
Yeah, see, because I could have sworn by '06 we were watching like the Lost episodes that they were releasing, like after he had stopped doing it,
Yeah,
which
because
also,
season two was in 2004. Yeah, you're totally
yeah,
right.
so all that stuff just kind of melded together, and it was like, oh, cool, I love Chappelle Show, I like Wu Tang Clan, I want to learn about kung fu stuff. Now I've watched
Yeah.
all these crazy kung fu movies.
And Jackie Chan was like your entry.
Yeah, and yeah, Rush Hour 2 was a good starting point. Because then when I was like, I want to know more kung fu movies, and I was like, hey, there's that Jackie Chan guy. I
Yeah.
should watch more of his
So,
things.
I mean, the only other thing I have that I like about this movie is probably that it's 90 minutes long. They like get in and get out, you know?
So they knew exactly what it needed to be. We're gonna get in, we're gonna get out. They knew that a lot of this movie really hinges on you finding their shtick funny. So they were like, the longer that we don't drag out the shtick and leave you wanting more, the better.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's like a quick hit, fun. There's like cool fights, some explosions, lots of jokes.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of the jokes land, and we often talk about jokes that have rewatchability to them because a lot of the times, you'll get a joke in a movie and then the second time you watch it, that joke kind of falls flat because you're like, it doesn't hit as hard as the first time I heard it. But I
Yeah.
think a lot of the jokes in this still make me laugh consistently throughout this movie. I love when Jackie Chan's like, we need a distraction at the casino, and he's just like, I'll just go like call out fake racism at the blackjack table.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or no, they're playing roulette or
They're
whatever it
playing
is.
craps, I
Or
think. They're
craps,
rolling
craps.
craps, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he keeps rolling sevens. He's doing,
Yeah.
which I think is good. I don't really know the rules of craps.
Yeah, no, I do not.
What else? Oh yeah, Jackie Chan. By the way, you got to give him credit just for his like his not even his kung fu stuff, but his acting. Like that scene when they're spying on the billionaire guy, whatever his name was, I don't remember his name.
Oh
And
yeah.
he leaves and the girl starts undressing and Jackie Chan's like watching through the binoculars and
You
he's
see
like,
like his mouth
she's
drop
just
open.
not doing much at all.
Yeah.
she's, she's it's very boring.
And Chris Tucker's like, what is it, man? Spit it out.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's another great point of just how unabashedly insane Chris Tucker is. Because then when Jackie Chan finally lets it slip and he's like, "Oh, she's getting naked," and he steals it from her, and he's like, "Oh, black bra, black panties, Victoria's Secrets catalog, page 38. Girl's got class." Like he's memorized the catalog.
Yeah, and that I mean that whole sequence with the bomb is funny. Like Jackie Chan delivers that line at the end where he's like, "She's the bomb."
Yeah.
It's so good. So yeah,
Uh,
I mean, I don't know. And like, is there anything you really don't like about this movie? I mean, like like I said, it kind of makes me go, "Huh," a bunch of times. But other than that, I mean, what's there to not like? I suppose.
I don't really have anything overt that I would dislike about this movie. It's a fun, enjoyable action comedy that gets in and gets out, never overstays its welcome. I also recognize the like ha moments, but they're never ones that really like make me sit back and like take a beat like some other movies have.
Yeah,
Mostly in this one, I'm like laughing too hard as we're going from scene to scene to really like step back and think about it too much. I think this movie is just fun. It sets out to do exactly what you wanted it to do, and it's just fun. I think the biggest thing that I could say, but it's mostly just a nitpick, is I kind of wish that the whole movie just took place in Hong Kong.
yeah. That I think you're right on that one. That
Like
is
the
a good
fact that
negative.
halfway through we skip back to LA and like his neck of the woods kind of feels like it's like, why are we going back? Like all this couldn't
Yeah,
just
well,
happen.
I'll tell you why. How do you think they ended up with that $90 million budget?
Yeah. Yeah.
They shoot that on on location?
Hong Kong scenes.
Yeah.
I would imagine so, right?
I think so, right? Because they had a lot of really great shots, like that made it seem like they were actually there.
Yeah, I would
Like
imagine.
really great establishing shots.
Yeah. And so if they didn't, they at least sent a crew there to get B footage.
Yeah.
But I
And
would
at the very least, they were spending a fortune to make wherever they were shooting it in Los Angeles look like
look
Hong
like,
Kong.
yeah, because especially that scene, the fight in like the bamboo structure looks,
Yeah.
yeah, like it looks. I completely buy that they would be in Hong Kong.
Yeah, so
Like
I think that's your answer for why they didn't shoot the whole movie in Hong
movie,
Kong.
yeah, I get it. I think this would have been funner if he was the fish out of water the entire movie. But
Yeah.
at the end of the
And
day, that's
you know
just
where they
it's a nitpick.
you know where they shot the casino scene?
Where
The same casino set that they used for that Mel Gibson movie Maverick.
really?
No, I just
I was
totally
gonna
made that
say, I
up.
was like, well, I was gonna say, is it Maverick like a Western? Like,
And it's on a boat. It's like not even close to the same.
really would have had to dress that one up.
Yeah, I was like, that's just how they save some money, you know? They were like,
They just reused all the poker tables.
yeah, exactly.
Put them in the
man.
background, it'll be gold.
It's like they're like, does Scorsese still have anything left over from Casino we can borrow?
All
But
right. So let me put this to you, Jim. I've put this out in a few episodes of some of the bigger movies that I've done
yeah,
here. Is there a world in which we would see and it would work a Rush Hour 4?
I I think there's one that they've been talking about doing for a while. It's one of those movies that's kind of been in development for what feels like an
Forever.
eternity.
Yeah, they've always just been
Yeah.
talking about it, but then you never really see any headway on it.
And I don't know, dude. I think it's gonna happen at some point.
Oh, I
I
think it
don't
I think it will too eventually. But I mean, like, shit or get off the pot, man. Jackie Chan's like getting any younger, and he can only keep doing this shit for so much longer.
Yeah, but they'll figure that part out. He's a trooper. he's a,
Poor guy.
they'll probably if worst case scenario, he's just like Rocky. He's like Head Inspector Lee and he's gotta train somebody else and
Oh my
it's like I
God.
don't know.
Is
He's
that the
getting too
next
old
one?
for
Like
this
we
shit.
they
That's
basically so all right, so here's how you do Rush Hour 4 is you basically just make Lethal Weapon 3. You got to bring in like a Joe Pesci type character to play with them. But maybe he's a younger guy that can now move in the way that Jackie Chan can't.
See, I think it's a little bit more like Beverly Hills Cop 3 where
But not in an
where
amusement park.
where yeah, no, I mean maybe in an amusement park.
No.
Don't limit yourself, man.
Oh no.
Um but but yeah, like where maybe Jackie Chan's a little bit older. He's like Judge what's that guy's name? Judge Reinhold, who's like
Reinhold. Yeah.
who like becomes like a more important cop in the third Beverly Hills Cop. He's like that guy, and he's less
Okay.
involved, but Axel still comes to town. You know what I mean? It's Beverly Hills Cop 3. That's how you do Rush Hour 4.
That's how you do Rush Hour 4. Is he's a bit more seasoned now. He's really struggling with his mortality now. Chris,
And for
Chris
real,
Tucker is still
they gotta have awesome amusement parks in
all
China
right.
or Hong Kong
All
or
right.
wherever. They gotta
It
have
happens.
awesome amusement parks.
It all takes place at Hong Kong Disneyland.
Yeah, exactly, man. Now you're
Oh
talking.
no. Yeah, like the little girl that they saved in the first one is now full grown and works at Hong Kong Disneyland, and some wild shit goes down, and they gotta go in and get her.
No way. No, all right, here we go. Lee is
Oh,
taking his kids to Hong Kong Disneyland.
oh my God.
And then it's kind of like a Die Hard meets like Paul Blart kind of thing.
Well, if you want to keep the bickering between the two of them, Chris Tucker is now dating the young girl from the first one who's all grown up now, and Jackie
Oh my
Chan
no,
hates it.
this is the worst, dude. This is the worst. That's no thank you. What are you doing this episode, man? You're just like every chance you get, you're just nose diving off of a cliff.
A real villain tonight.
I know. Now I'll bring up a relationship between a 50-year-old man and a 20-year-old. That's a good thing to talk about next.
Hey, it's been long enough that she's older than 20. And you're telling
Is
me
she? I guess it's been a long time, yeah.
And you're telling me Chris Tucker's character wouldn't jump at the opportunity to date a younger
I
girl who looks good?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. That's
You're,
not the Rush Hour I want to see, okay?
He's like, I don't want to see that. I want to see a good old fashioned movie of Detective Lee at Hong Kong Disneyland. Well, however way they do it,
All right.
I'm sure
Do we
we'll
want to do some IMDb deep
more.
dive?
You don't want to continue pitching Rush Hour 4 to the obvious Hollywood executives that have been listening to our podcast week over week.
I definitely don't.
All right, sorry, Hollywood execs, you're gonna have to get your ideas somewhere else because we're not giving you any more hot tips for Rush Hour 4. Because we are now moving on to the IMDb deep dive. All right, so Chad, we starting with Jackie Chan. So we're doing Jackie Chan.
Yeah, I think so.
Who's
What
the
do you
other
think
guy?
about?
Jackie Chan?
I think we're definitely doing Jackie Chan. Do we want to do Brett Ratner too?
Ugh, I guess.
Not really, right? So let's
Yeah.
just do
Because
Jackie Chan and Chris
what's it
Tucker.
gonna be? The three Rush Hours and X-Men: The Last Stand? No, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So let's just do Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker.
All right.
Because I don't know when either of those.
I
When did
mean,
the Tuxedo come out again? Where that one's definitely on the list, right?
which movie?
The Tuxedo.
Shut the fuck up.
All right. So we did talk a lot about some of Jackie Chan's movies. Um, he has on IMDb
He's got
currently
way too many.
142 credits, like that are old, and he's got 7 upcoming credits.
And we are gonna deep dive on all of them.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
No, no. Just give the best of like the ones that people will have heard of.
Okay, so all right, let's just start with his first couple of credits here. In 1965, he's credited
Oh,
as
come on, fucker.
all right, just let me do this one. Come on. He's Child at Festival in the television series I Spy.
Is
What a
that the
career defining role.
That's not the show that would eventually get remade into the Owen Wilson Eddie Murphy
I
vehicle, is it?
I have a feeling that is exactly that show, actually.
Humble beginnings.
All right, so this is one that I have to mention. 1973, he's in Enter the Dragon. He's uncredited, but he plays Thug in Prison. But that's like a classic kung fu movie.
It's my favorite kung fu movie.
So interesting that he's in that.
Yeah, I don't. Wow. Next time I watch it, I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for him because I did not know that.
All right, so what's the first movie on here that I've seen? Because he's making a lot of movies throughout the 70s. I think it's going to be 1978 Drunken Master.
Oh,
So do you have
class.
Rush Hour 2 or Drunken Master?
Think you're gonna go Drunken Master, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna go Rush Hour 2.
yeah, that's fair. I'm taking Drunken Master for sure.
It is a great movie though.
It is, yeah. And I mean, he's making like one, two, sometimes 3 movies a year throughout the late 70s and the early 80s, which is nuts.
Especially for like the level in which he's performing. It's insane that that's his output. His poor body.
Oh, you know what he's in? You know what he's in 1981?
Is it the Cannonball Run?
The Cannonball Run. Yes, the Cannonball Run.
Absolute
Easily
classic.
one of the most ridiculous movies ever made.
Easily,
Easily.
you want to talk about moments where you take a step back and go, huh? The entire movie of that race, they are all drinking and driving.
Yep. And Jackie Chan in that plays Subaru driver.
I do love the Cannonball Run, but Rush Hour too.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking Rush Hour too. The Cannonball Run though, if you haven't seen it, you should find a way to watch it. It's
Yes.
like a window into the past, and
You
you will not understand.
It's the closest we'll probably ever come to seeing the Wacky Races cartoon in
Yeah,
live
it's like a
action.
live action Wacky Races starring Burt Reynolds. It's ridiculous.
It's
It's
great.
1985 here. We got Police Story. So yeah, that's definitely one we were talking about. What do you got? Police Story or Rush Hour 2?
Police Story. The first time I watched Police Story, like I said before, fucking changed me, man. Like that movie was so goddamn good,
Yep.
and the stunts that he does in that movie, it blew my mind. They're insane.
Yeah, he's amazing. 1992 Super Cop. Super Cop
Yeah,
or Rush Hour 2.
Super Cop.
I'm definitely taking Super Cop. I might
Isn't
watch Super
isn't
Cop this
isn't
week,
Super
honestly.
Cop technically Police Story 3, right? That's the one like Michelle Yao.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
You're asking a lot. I don't really know. I just know that these movies are great. I couldn't tell you really what the continuity is between them.
But yeah, no, super copy easily. That one's also phenomenal.
So 1994, Drunken Master 2. I haven't seen that.
Neither have I.
1995, Rumble in the Bronx.
Dude, that's an absolute classic. I
I
think I'm
love
still
that movie
I
so much.
I do love that movie, but I'm still taking Rush Hour too.
I'm taking Rumble in the Bronx.
That's
Easy.
fair. That's fair. That movie is fantastic.
Um, have you seen Fists of Fire?
No, never heard of
I've
that.
never heard of that. First Strike,
Oh,
Inspector Chan. Do they just keep calling him Inspector Chan because his name's Chan? Are these not all the same people? Is that what's going on here?
I couldn't tell you, but I have seen First Strike, and that one is also freaking phenomenal. But I think I'd still take Rush Hour too.
Interesting. I
The
haven't
the
seen
fight
First Strike.
the fight scene he does in First Strike with the ladder is unreal.
Yeah. So, all right. The next one I'm going to call out is probably my favorite Jackie Chan movie.
Swear to
By
God, if it's the fucking tuxedo, I'm gonna come
no,
through, gonna come
no.
through that
It's
video feed.
how could you how could you kill the bit, dude? It's not. I wasn't gonna say the tuxedo. I was gonna say, who am I?
Oh my God, that movie is so. That's really your favorite one? That one's so silly.
Absolutely, dude. I love Who Am I.
Oh my God.
That
Oh.
whole fight scene at the end when they're on top of the building and he's fighting the one dude and he keeps using his clothes against him.
Yeah.
And so he'll grab the dude's tie and like pull him into a punch with his tie. And the second guy watching will take off his tie.
Eh,
It's-
yeah, no, that one is phenomenal. I would
yeah,
still
and
take
that's
Rush
that's
Hour
the one
too.
when he slides down the side of the building too. Do you
Yeah,
remember that stunt? That's
yeah,
insane.
yeah. He's crazy. He's fucking crazy.
Yeah, no. So I love Who Am I?
I do like that movie, but I'd pick Rush Hour too.
Yeah, I'm taking Who Am I? Do you got Rush Hour 2 over the first Rush Hour?
Rush Hour too.
Either Shanghai Noon movie over Rush Hour 2?
D- Shanghai Noon, very close. I'm still giving it to Rush Hour too, but Shanghai Noon, I fucking loved that movie as a kid. I watched that movie so much. I'm still gonna give the edge to Rush Hour too, though.
Yeah, I'll take Rush
Don't
Hour
even mention Shanghai Nights. Although we will be watching Shanghai Nights because I saw that in theaters.
2. Excellent. All right, so I'm gonna skip because he's in so many, dude. We'll be here all day.
Yeah. No, you just gotta go for like the big name ones.
Yeah, so I'm gonna skim a lot of the later ones. I guess Skip Trace was like his big like comeback, right? Like in the US, wasn't that the one?
The one with Johnny Knoxville.
Maybe not. What was the one where he was The Foreigner is the movie I'm thinking of, I think.
Oh, I did not see that.
Where it's like he's like doing like the Liam Neeson act, right?
Yeah, yeah, they try to give him the Taken treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't see that.
Me neither. So then I think that's really all the big like late movies. Like he does some voice work in Kung Fu Panda, yada yada. Oh, he's in the Karate Kid. Did you like that Karate Kid remake?
I didn't hate it. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, it was like I mean trying
I
to
also
play Mr.
I
Miyagi and stuff.
yeah, I was never obsessed with the Karate Kid like other people are, so I don't know if I
Oh,
have
karate,
any
the
like
original Karate Kid's so good.
huge attachment to. I honestly couldn't tell you the last time I even watched that original Karate Kid, so I would really have to rewatch those.
Like they're at the karate tournament and some guy's like, put him in a body bag. It's like Jesus, dude, these kids are like 15. It's,
Dude, everyone gets real fierce at the competitions, man. You get into it.
yeah. All right, so then let's just do real fast. The movie before Rush Hour 2 was The Accidental Spy. Have you ever seen that one?
Oh, I've never even heard of that.
Me
Was
neither.
it with was it with no, I was gonna no, never mind. I'm not saying it because it's just gonna set you up for your bit.
What?
I was gonna say, is that the one with Jennifer Love Hewitt? But then I was like, no, that's the tuxedo.
Yeah, I think that's actually going to be the movie after Rush Hour 2.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
No, the all-time great is probably the only way to describe it. The Tuxedo, 2001 comedy starring Jackie Chan and Jennifer Love Hewitt.
That also came out in 2001. Oh, big year for
Yeah, it's
Jackie
a movie
Chan.
directly after. And I don't know, dude. I might. This is in the running, I think,
Oh, all right.
for the upcoming flick you missed.
No, dear God,
I
no.
I think we might. It depends on if we got there or not. I have to double check
God,
when that came out, but I'll get back to you on that one.
please, God, let it come out after the number 19.
So then, all right. Do we want to do Chris Tucker?
Yeah, we can run down his quickly because I don't feel like he did a lot of big movies where he was
I mean, he
a big
certainly doesn't
character.
have
Yeah,
142
yeah.
credits.
Certainly not as prolific as Jackie Chan.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's in one episode of Hanging with Mr. Cooper, which is a show I've heard of, but I've never seen. Um, he plays Johnny Booze in House Party 3. Have you
Oh
ever
my,
seen House Party 3?
no. Only seen the
No,
first one.
either. A couple of like what look like small credits, and then the really big obvious one, 1995 Friday. He plays Smokey.
Oh, that's a great movie. Fuck. That's a tough one. Rush Hour 2. I
Okay,
just
I'm
I just
taking Friday.
I just went gut. That was the closest one you've said so far.
Yeah, I'm taking Friday just because of one line when the ice cream man steals the little girl's money and then doesn't give her ice cream. And then it's Megan Good, by the way, plays that little girl, and she just goes, "Man, I hate you." Like the funniest line in any movie ever. It's so great.
Movie's so good.
Um, he plays Beaumont Livingston and Jackie Brown. I've never seen Jackie Brown. Is that a big part?
No, he's more of a supporting character. That is a great fucking movie.
Gotcha.
Um,
I haven't seen Dead Presidents. I think that's the one where they like rob banks, maybe?
I have not seen that one either.
Me neither. All right, this is the other really, really big one.
You gonna say Money Talk?
No, The Fifth Element, dude. He plays Ruby
Oh, that's
Rad.
right. That's right. I think you're gonna pick Fifth Element because I remember you said you enjoyed that on some other movie that we did. I'm gonna go Rush Hour 2 still though. I'm not the biggest Fifth Element guy.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm gonna take The Fifth Element because you know me, dude. The more out there and more abstract and crazy a movie is, the more I generally like it. And The Fifth Element is all of that stuff and more.
Oh yeah, no. I know that one's right up your alley.
And he's amazing in it, by the
Oh,
way. Chris Tucker is like,
he's far and away the best part about that movie.
yeah, he carries it for like large portions of it. You know, he was Danny in Silver Linings Playbook. That's another movie I've never seen.
He's a very small supporting character. I mean that is a really good movie, but like if you came over and was like, "Bro, you want to watch Rush Hour 2 or Silver Linings Playbook?" I'd be like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, I'll take Rush Hour too.
Okay,
Although
pick
I
Rush
probably
Hour
should
2
see
on.
that movie.
You should.
I mean,
It is really good.
did you see Air?
Yeah, dude. Air is really good. But he's
Because
again,
he played
he's
Howard White in Air.
yeah, he's a really solid supporting character actor. Air is really good. Oh dude, Air is really fucking good. Fuck.
And then he has an upcoming credit here, Rush Hour 4, but it just says in
Oh my
development.
God. Yeah, that thing's been in development since Rush Hour 3 came out.
It's a action adventure comedy. Do you want to hear the plot rundown?
Oh, all right, let's see how close we were.
The plot is unknown at this time.
Fuck.
that's,
Yeah, because
that's
they
what
don't
it says.
yeah, because the Hollywood executives were waiting to siphon in on this podcast so that they can get those ideas.
Yeah, although they already have Ross Lamana, who is credited with the all three other movies signed on to write.
Oh, he was the writer of the first one.
Yeah, it looks like the last credit he has is Maximum Impact from 2017. No idea what that
Yeah,
is.
no idea what that is. So
Oh, he wrote
clearly,
Titanic, dude.
shut the fuck up.
That's, I swear to God, I'm looking at his credits, dude. He wrote Titanic.
Yeah. Which
2
Titanic?
episodes of a
Yeah,
miniseries that aired
yeah,
in 1996.
yeah. There it is.
Titanic.
There it is. He's sitting there like fucking James Cameron stole my idea.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
All right. Now we're in a real deep dive here. This miniseries starred Peter Gallagher, Catherine Zeta-Jones, George C. Scott, Tim Curry. Dude,
Oh,
we have to watch this
dude.
miniseries.
Yeah. Where do I watch this? Sign me up
This
right
is
now.
nuts. Could it possibly be better than James Cameron's Titanic?
I don't know, dude. If anyone can do it, I think it's that cast. Might be up to the challenge.
That's the clickbait title of the Titanic miniseries bonus episode.
Oh my god. But the guy just wrote it in the same way that he writes the characters in Rush Hour, so
Yeah.
everybody's just oddly racist to each other.
Yeah.
Which is part of the course for that time
I mean, that
period.
was also what was going on in James Cameron's Titanic.
Very true.
Yeah, that's hysterical, dude.
That's
James Cameron hates this miniseries.
the miniseries James Cameron doesn't want you to see.
Yeah, right. Directors of Avatar hate it. And I think that's about it for the deep dive. I think that's as far as we can. Once you get to the 1996 miniseries Titanic, I think you've gotten about as deep as you can go.
It's true. I don't think you could go any further than that. All right, Jim. So we'll turn it to our favorite portion of the event. It's where we decide how well this movie is going to land on our immaculate list. So call up our man Ebert because it's time to give some star ratings.
I'm Roger Ebert. Been a scene from the best film of the decade. This is a great film.
This was a great film. All right, Jim, Rush Hour 2. Let's hear it. Final thoughts, final rating.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most succinct way to wrap it up here is to say that I know exactly what I'm getting when I go to watch Rush Hour 2, and they deliver it, and then the movie ends. And that's not a bad thing to say about a movie, you know? So I am gonna give it this is like new lease on life, Jim. This is Dr. Dolittle 2, Jim.
I'm waiting for you to say it, baby. I'm waiting for it.
What do you think I'm gonna say?
Are you gonna say 4?
No, I was gonna say
I thought you're talking new lease on life, Jim, and you were throwing little 4s all over the place.
No, that only came out of 4 to Dr. Dolittle 2, which also might just be a credit to Dr. Dolittle 2 more than anything, right? I'm gonna give this 3.5.
That's respectable. 3.5
Yeah.
is right on the money. Yeah, I think I echo your sentiments exactly. This, we talk so much about in these ones that we look on how well this movie delivers on what you're expecting from it, and this movie does exactly that. It gives you everything you wanted from this movie. It does it quickly, gets in, it gets out, doesn't overstay its welcome, gives you the laughs, gives you some fun, great action. And you just have a great time with this movie. And, especially for me, I always talk about rewatchability. Goes a long way for me in movies. And this is another one that has great rewatchability to me, and that I can continuously return to it every couple of years. And it's always a great time. So I'm going to go a little bit higher than you. I am going to give the 4. I was waiting for you to throw out your Doolittle 4 in hopes to laugh that I was also going to give it a 4 and Rush Hour 2 was going to get those,
Oh my god, imagine
high,
if it had an 8.
those high marks. But
Can I change my score?
no, you're locked
I'm
in.
locked in. I'm locked in.
You're locked in. 3.5. So with a 4 from me and a 3.5 from Jim, that gives Rush Hour 2 a 7.5, which is good enough to tie it in the 3rd place spot with The Lost World, which also sits with a 7.5. So they sit just above a plethora of movies that have a 7 ranking. And then they sit just behind Gladiator with a 9.5. So only 2 movies have managed to crack over 8 so far. So it's going to be interesting when we finally get to one that also even just hits an 8. I was wondering if Rush Hour 2 was going to do it. When you said you were liberal,
No, not a 4, not a 4.
I was waiting for it. But all right, Jim. So
and even New Lease on Life, Jim, is happy that there's some distance between Gladiator and Titanic and all the other movies. Like the
Very true.
lease isn't that new. Let's take a deep breath here.
It's a new lease on life, but he's not going so crazy. So now we have two movies with a 7.5. We've got The Lost World and we've got Rush Hour 2, Jim. So which do you take on top, The Lost World or Rush Hour 2?
Lost World, and I don't know that I think it's close.
I also would take The Lost World, and I also agree that I don't think it's close. So Rush Hour 2 will slot in then at the number 4 spot, right behind The Lost World, sharing a 7.5. How does that? Are you okay? New lease on
Yeah,
life, Jim? You're
Lease on Life Jim's doing great, dude.
new
The
lease on
lease is
life, Jim.
new enough. It's there's still
Yes.
some distance.
Yeah, I think I
7.5 is about right. The
yeah.
only the only qualm I have at this point,
Yeah.
I went back and listened to the Castaway episode,
Okay.
and I feel like I gave that movie a very low score. So it's a little interesting that it's ahead of Castaway, which I believe has a 7.
Yes, Castaway has a 7. You gave Castaway a 3 and a 3.5 to Rush Hour 2.
Yeah. I think
But
that the 3 was a bad decision.
but I mean, it's not like they're so far away from each other. I don't think this
I
is the worst
New Lease
spot.
on Life Jim would have given Castaway a 4 for sure. That's
Oh
that's
man,
my only qualm. I'm not saying I'm changing it. I'm just saying that's my only qualm. You asked, so that's my only thing.
that's true. I guess we needed Dr. Doolittle to come in earlier to really give us New Lease on Life, Jim, a lot earlier than we got him.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is fine. It seems like the 7 range is where a lot of these
Maybe.
movies are gonna fall. So
Yeah,
this isn't
right,
bad.
right. There's gonna be like an average somewhere there. Yeah. But
Yes.
so maybe what about this? What if every 100 episodes we go back and we defend rankings or like change rankings or like own up to mistakes?
Ooh. Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that. We do
Yeah,
like a
because it's
quick
like if it's every 100, that's like every like 2 years. It'll be fine.
yeah, and we do what we do with these, where we just kind of run through them quickly and figure out do you still hold on this review or would you change it? Would you move this up or down? Because then that'll also give you a chance to really stick it to the Rugrats movie and put it down where it belongs even further.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely in the back of my mind when I'm saying that we should do that. Yes, it is.
That is a good idea, Jim. Unfortunately, we're only 18 movies into this right now, so it
Yeah,
might,
so it's gonna be a while.
yeah, might be a minute, but definitely something to have there in the back pocket. But would you like your hint for next week's movie?
Yeah, try and make it like a hard one though. I want to try and deduce it.
Okay, all right. Try and make it a hard one, but not.
Yeah, man. You bring your hints are weak, yo. You make it too easy.
Fuck. All right, we gotta try and make a good hint here. All right, so I'll give you the genre.
Okay.
It's a comedy movie.
Okay.
Fuck. All right, another hint that's not just going to straight up give this away.
2001 comedy, and we didn't talk about it in this, you're saying.
2001 comedy. Yeah, we haven't talked about it in this. We're about to be in a situation again where we're out of the summer. I don't go to the movies again until around Christmas time. So this was a Thanksgiving area release. Okay, all right. You want a hard hint?
Yeah, let's hear it.
We've talked a lot in this episode about moments in movies back then that watching today would make you go, huh?
Oh boy.
They would have a very tough time making this movie today because it deals with a subject that a lot of ladies are very self-conscious about.
Oh, interesting. Okay, and it's 2001. You're talking about weight. Um, is Jack Black in it?
Jack Black is in it. You know it now.
Oh, I definitely know it. It's Shallow Hal, right?
It is Shallow Hal.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. We're
Ay, ay,
going
ay.
to dive into Shallow Hal, the classic story of Jack Black, who learns to see the inner beauty.
First impression, there is a 0% chance that movie is any good. There's
Yeah,
no way that's I'm gonna watch that and be like, I'm so glad this came up.
this is a movie that I can't tell you the last time I even watched it. I know I've seen it again since I saw it in theaters, but it had to have been like when we were in high school. So I couldn't tell you it has to have been like close to 15 years since I've seen this movie. And
Yeah, again, I don't remember the last time.
I'm also going to gut say that it also probably does not hold up. I mean, I'm still going to go in with an open mind and hope that, maybe it's a bit more tactful than I remember. But I'm not holding
I
out.
mean, who plays his friend in that movie? I forget.
It's George Costanza.
Yeah, I just remember he's an absolute pig in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's horrible. But he also and that isn't it like also he's got like a tail, like his
Oh yeah,
coccyx or whatever
yeah.
it
Well, let's
is.
not get too far
Yeah,
into
yeah,
it.
yeah. We don't really want
Yeah,
to dive
we'll
into.
talk about it next week.
But
Unfortunately,
I do remember that part. Yeah, unfortunately, we'll dive into all of the the way Shallow Hal is aged, and I don't think it's gonna age like fine wine, but we'll find out. But that will be for next week. Jim, do you have anything to leave the people with this week?
I actually do.
Ooh,
I watched a movie on Netflix while I was cutting up some of the audio for Rush Hour.
okay.
And I think everybody should hop onto Netflix if you got Netflix, and watch Bird on a Wire.
The Mel Gibson,
Mel
Goldie
Gibson,
Hawn.
Goldie Hawn,
Oh,
David Carradine, Bill
dude,
Duke.
that movie is fantastic.
Yeah,
That has the
people.
whole ending in like the zoo, right? In like the bird cage.
Yes,
You,
yes,
oh,
absolutely, yeah.
dude, yeah. Yo, oh
It's
yeah,
it's
good.
like if you want to check out a '90s camp, silly action movie, check out Bird on a Wire. It's a really good movie.
Oh, Jim, that movie is a classic. That is a lot of fun. So yeah, you heard it here first. That is an A+, A1 recommendation from the man himself. So get yourself on the Netflix, watch Bird on a Wire. It is a classic. But until next time, as always, we'll see you at the movies.